Alrighty. Well, this is not the typical Epiphany hand, but it is definitely a hand this deck can do. Are we on the play or the draw? We are on the play. So I think I can lead with Haunted Ridge. I don't need to hold up Spikefield Hazard on turn 1. I only need to hold it up on turn 2. Or, well, going into my opponent's turn 2, that is. I probably want to play the Spikefield Hazard as a land, although my opponent's on some kind of white deck. Still, I don't think I'm likely to get use out of 2 Spikefield Hazards either way. Red-white, okay. Well, Thalia gives me a use for the first Spikefield Hazard, I guess. Punishes me for playing the Spikefield Hazard tapped. Wasn't really on my radar, but here we are. Am I willing to take 2 damage from Thalia in order to better guarantee that I can resolve the Sorin next turn because they can't play a second Thalia? No, probably not. I probably just don't want to take this 2 damage, because they could still hit me with any other 3-drop tax effect that stops me from my Sorin regardless. They do have exactly another Thalia. Okay. Well, I could have played around it. I could have. But I guess I didn't. This time around, I would like my opponent to play another Thalia. Also, wow. 3-color Naya aggro. Brutal Cathar. Okay. Running that out, I feel like indicates that my opponent is probably short of good plays, and I'm very happy they didn't get to blow up my token with it. But I got Fading Hope to protect Sorin on the off chance that they play another Brutal Cathar. Sun Gold Sentinel, okay. Not that scary. Exile a card from my graveyard. Do they choose to attack with their 2/3 into my 2, or their 2/2 into my 2/3? They say no. Alright. Sorin, find us some spells. That is a spell. Thank you. Do I want to foretell A-Alrund's Epiphany here? Probably. Then I think I can play the Jwari Disruption as a land safely. I guess I could have... I don't know how much the birds matter from A-Alrund's Epiphany. Oh, right, foretelling doesn't stop that from flipping. Yeah, okay, that was an error. So I probably should have not foretold A-Alrund's Epiphany and then just cast a Fading Hope on Sun Gold Sentinel. Would have been more ideal. Ooh. Hello from Brazil. Hello back to Brazil. Ooh. Thanks for hanging out. Okay, so what happens if I divide by 0 Inquisitor Captain? Yeah, foretelling this A-Alrund's Epiphany turned out to be a big mistake. I would like enough mana to divide by 0 and Fading Hope here, but alas, nay. Okay, the Inquisitor Captain resolves, and I think I just have to hope that they don't hit a Reckless Stormseeker. No, just a Moonrage Brute, which thankfully does not enter the battlefield and, you know, trigger. And also will not be transforming. Would like to pay life, yes. Would like to grab Teachings of the Archaics, yes. Would like to block to save my Sorin, yes. Would like to downtick Sorin. Would like to play my land. Would like to take an extra turn. Would like to have some blockers. Alright, so much for the Teachings of the Archaics plan, because the Unexpected Windfall plan is a lot better. Although I should be doing this on the opponent's turn. Now I'm transforming the Moonrage Brute back, which kind of sucks. Whoops. Oh, and I'm also letting them replay the Brutal Cathar? Ooh, yeah, this was a very sloppy turn. I thought that I wanted to make my land drop, but the day-night cycle thing makes that far less important. Meathook Massacre. Okay.
Nothing on Innistrad is free.
I think I'm probably just Meathook Massacring for 3 then. Since the day-night thing is already happening. That makes this entire sequence kind of awkward, but I don't know, I'm still, like, very ahead regardless. Inquisitor Captain, oh no! What does it hit this time? Okay. That could be worse. What do I want to do with Sorin? Do I want to do anything with Sorin? I'll get rid of a Stormcarved Coast. Unexpected Windfall. So I could play Sorin and then play another Sorin? I kind of like the idea of Sorin into another Sorin. Wait, don't they still have a Brutal Cathar in their hand? Why did it... Did it remove the information I had access to because Inquisitor Captain's way of wording was weird? Huh. Okay. Well, I've got Fading Hopes, so when they play Brutal Cathar to exile one of these 2/3s, I can just bounce it in response to the trigger, and then I still keep the token. So this is fine, but very interesting that it removed my access to that information. No, don't really want to land right now. It's a Guardian of Angel. Oh, taps down my 2/3. Now, how do we do this? Do I want to bounce Inquisitor Captain and block Sungold Sentinel? I give them another Inquisitor Captain, but maybe I don't care about that. I could also chump block Inquisitor Captain. Ooh. What do we got? Inferno's 265. Thanks for the follow. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Yeah, I'm probably just supposed to bounce the Inquisitor Captain. I guess I might as well wait until after they attack to do that. My opponent's got more than enough stuff to do with their mana already, so I don't feel like giving them a decent card to cast is particularly a huge loss for me. Alrighty, Sorin, if you want to continue upticking. Yes, I would happily reveal the Behold the Multiverse. I kind of want to flip it to night so they can't replay this Brutal Cathar. So I don't think I cast anything. And then I probably want to Spikefield the Guardian of Angel. I guess I'm going to cast the Behold the Multiverse on their turn, so I don't need to worry about holding a land to discard Unexpected Windfall. Alright. Night, which is somehow weirdly better for me. Between the Meathook Massacre and the Sorin tokens, I'm actually doing a very strange job of clocking my opponent. Works for me. I have to assume my opponent is running Reckless Stormseeker. I can't imagine a different reason to be running red that would make sense. Alright, let's pull the Multiverse, see if we find a Divide by Zero. We find a Divide by Zero. We also find a Fading Hope, because this game apparently needs to be easier. We'll snag a Mascot Exhibition. We will ping the Guardian of Angel, and then our opponent will be conceding in approximately 3 seconds. Nope, still going for it. Alright. Oh, we got some really cool opponents today. Yeah, let's hold on to the Fading Hope. Okay, let's draw Galvanic Iteration. Sure, why not? I love to be able to cast 2 Mascot Exhibitions. There we go. Okay. They lasted longer than expected. Good on them. Alright, well, I'm definitely bringing in Parasitic Grasp. That seems excellent. Probably cutting Hullbreaker Horror. That doesn't seem as good. I don't think I'm like super into A-Alrund's Epiphany. I think I'm okay cutting it. Do I cut a Galvanic Iteration? Probably not. Feels like that's still really good with Parasitic Grasp, right? So then the question is, do I bring in more Sorins? How good is that against the opponent's deck? Seemed like it was good against a lot of their deck. Yeah, what the heck. Let's cut a Behold the Multiverse for more Sorins. Why not? The best case scenario for a control deck is that it is the beatdown deck. And that has less to do with you playing threats and more to do with if you successfully answer every single threat your opponent has, then you're the first player who gets to attack in the game. That's the dream. So I didn't bring in Infernal Grasp, I don't think. But if I'm not playing against dragons, I don't know that if I need to. What would you change if this deck played in Standard? A ton. I don't think I would play a Grixis version of this deck over a Izzet version in Standard. And that's more to do with what sort of threats other decks are playing. The Black Splash in this deck is mostly for anti-aggro cards, and there aren't aggro decks in Standard that encourage you to make these same splashes. There's basically, aside from Izzet in Standard, there's mono white and mono green. And mono white is a matchup that gets better if you play black, because you get access to Sedgemoor Witch, and Sedgemoor Witch is stellar against mono white in Standard, but Sorin and Meathook Massacres aren't really. And not compared to Cinderclasm, anyway. And mono green, the same is true of. Meathook Massacre and Sorin are mostly concessions to brushstroke decks that don't exist in Standard, and that they're at least decent against Dragons decks, which don't exist in Standard. We're willing to get rid of those. This, okay. Hands like this, where my mana base requires me to not play a land that holds up Fading Hope on one, kind of hurts. Because I need to play Riverglide Pathway on red currently in order to have double red for Unexpected Windfall. Ooh, Parasitic Grasp is a cool card. Alright. So that's a pretty strong reason to lead on Shipwreck Marsh. I was going to lead on Stormcarved Coast, but I think that would have just been a mistake. Okay, Paladin class, sure. So no casting Parasitic Grasp this turn. Might cast Fading Hope. Lead Spellbinder, I assume, probably takes Parasitic Grasp here, which forces me to pay 4 mana to Parasitic Grasp? No, they just make Divide by 0 crazy expensive. Okay, I can live with that. Do I want to Parasitic Grasp the Spellbinder now? I guess there's no reason not to wait until their turn. I don't really want to take the damage, though. Maybe there was no reason to wait? I guess I just opened myself to getting blown out by, like, a 3-2 flasher that phases out their creature when I just didn't have a reason to give them the opening to do that. That said, Spellbinder's going to be awkward here. Well, I guess I have a lot of life total to work with. Okay, a ton of Hopeful Initiates is very good against my Jwari Disruption. I guess I like Unexpected Windfall here. My line of thought is if they try to play Elite Spellbinder, I can just Jwari Disruption it and then Unexpected Windfall on my turn. And if they do something else, then I can just Unexpected Windfall. Or if they make a land drop and then play the Spellbinder, I can just Unexpected Windfall. But yeah, if I successfully manage to counter their Elite Spellbinder, then their Hopeful Initiates aren't getting any decent stats anytime soon. So here, we're just going to make some treasures. Maybe I should have been holding up Divide by Zero, I guess? I don't know. Could play Celestus using treasures. Is that what I want to do? I don't think that's what I want to do. Okay, Intrepid Adversary, but not getting any bigger. More Hopeful Initiates. Alright, so we are still on plan. Keep the opponent off of creatures with enough power to pump the Hopeful Initiates. We're going to just pop that Adversary. Sounds good. I guess I could have divided by zero it if I was willing to sack a treasure. That's kind of painful if they hit an untapped land and can play it and anthem everything. Guess that's not that much worse than them antheming with Paladin class, though, is it? I do want to hit a board wipe, because getting hit for 6 here kind of sucks. Yeah, I might as well loot. There's a chance this hits Galvanic Iteration and puts it in the yard, which is a gain for me. I believe I should probably be casting Unexpected Windfall to draw cards. Parasitic Grasp is interesting. I haven't made a land drop yet, though, so casting this Expressive Iteration is actually pretty good. I would like to have a Sorin. And I think I would like to make this land drop as well. Do I play the Sorin? Do I play the Sorin? Probably not. I think I just Parasitic Grasp now. I want to do this before my next turn so I don't waste the additional mana. And I would like to do it before the Hopeful Initiate actually attacks me. And we'll get rid of the Fading Hope. Would be a good time to draw Lier. And Inquisitor Captain, sure. Once again, worst thing they can hit is Reckless Stormseeker. They don't. They just hit a Thalia. Okay. Draw a board wipe? No board wipe. Tiny bummer. Alright, so Divide by Zero costs 6 mana or 7 mana on their turn. And Hopeful Initiates are very big. That's a problem. How do we handle this? That Inquisitor Captain was good. Kinda need a board wipe and I need it now. I can Celestus and loot into a Meathook Massacre, and if that hits, we just win. If I divide by 0 Thalia, then I can Sorin downtick. That's still not good. I guess I'm probably supposed to activate Celestus. Try to loot into Massacre. We hit Epiphany instead. I don't think I like that. Don't think I like that. Which, as far as I can tell, means that I'm playing Sorin and downticking and trying to make that into a chump block to buy another turn to find Meathook Massacre. So if my opponent upgraded Paladin class and attacked with the double striking Inquisitor Captain, I'd be pretty fine divide by zeroing the Inquisitor Captain at that point, but taking 9 damage from Hopeful Initiate, and Thalia, with the Hopeful Initiates getting powered up, would not be exciting at all. And I don't think that was the way we were surviving. Alright, so I have to block. So we're at 3, which means we can uptick Sorin to find a Meathook Massacre. Is that the best thing to do? Probably. Opponent left up 4 mana. If I divide by 0 Inquisitor Captain, is there a line here that lets me downtick Sorin? If I activate Celestus and whiff, then I can downtick Sorin and pass. And it flips back to Knight. That's a lot of loot and a lot of life gained, which might be reasonable. Or we could just hit Meathook Massacre. That works too. Alright, opponent. I can do Meathook Massacre for 4. What could they have that would punish me for that? They probably have the thing that phases out here, in which case I just lose, but yeah, okay. Yep. Alright, so the Guardian dies, I go to 7, block, 9, 10, nope. Okay. I figured that's what they had, but I don't think I could play around that. So with that said, what really went wrong that game? We didn't... I guess maybe we sort of flooded? It felt like we had a lot of spells, though. I guess it was mostly just the Inquisitor Captain turn, and not having a good answer to their board state being that wide. Weird. I even drew both Parasitic Grasps. Maybe I'm supposed to play Infernal Grasp instead of Fading Hopes. Maybe. I feel like there should be something I'm learning from that game. Because I don't actually think I flooded out. Or at least I didn't flood out disproportionately to what an average draw is like. Hmm. I really don't have a good answer to that. Might be that I'm not playing enough board wipes post-board. I am on only 2, which might make it difficult to recover from awkward spots. Paladin class was a problem, but was it a critical problem? I don't know. But Paladin class does mean that playing Crush the Weak wouldn't have been viable in that spot. Might be that you have to counter Inquisitor Captain with something like Disdainful Stroke. I don't think you can board in Disdainful Stroke. There's just not enough things that it actually hits against their deck. Ugh, that's a rough hand. This is also rough, but alright, let's top deck something. I don't think that Inquisitor Captain is like a back-breaking card. I think that it was kind of unique in that spot that they had an Inquisitor Captain and we were completely out of removal, and that we actually got out card advantaged as a result. But it's weird to me that I could get out card advantaged in the first place. I suppose that's what what's the name of that card? Smoldering Egg was supposed to do against white decks previously, is be your source of long-term card advantage. I think we lead on Haunted Ridge. I don't know that I can fit Smoldering Egg. It's not great right now, because every deck that it's good against packs answers to it. Either in the form of why can I never remember the name of, like, Invulnerable Stance, whatever that card is called. Bounce the Sentinel. Fading Hope being card disadvantage isn't helpful either. Jeez, okay. This is a problem, because I have already run out of cards and my opponent hasn't even played anything yet. Yeah, Sentinel, sure. I guess there were a lot of opportunities for me to have drawn a... what do you call it? Lier last game and stabilized via that. Valorous Stance, that's the one. Valorous Stance and Dragonfire out of Dragons. Both of those cards tend to be in decks that Egg would otherwise be super good against. And they're incentivized to keep them in anyway because you're probably going to be playing Lier, which is already a good threat against them. But that said, maybe losing Egg is just acceptable. Well, it's more acceptable against white because there's a inherent tempo cost they're playing to answer Egg. It's less acceptable against dragons because usually they're not really paying a significant tempo cost to answer your Egg. They're just doing it with Goldspan Dragon treasure tokens. We find ourselves in a highly awkward spot. Life total is cozy. That's something. What was this crossroads on? White, huh? So they are holding up answers to board wipes. Luckily for me, answers to board wipes I don't have. In fact, they chose not to upgrade Paladin class, so it's basically guaranteed that they're holding up Guardian of Faith. Well, they're not doing infinity damage to me here, so I think I'm okay with that. I feel like I'm probably okay just divide by zeroing the Sungold Sentinel. Prevent a tiny amount of damage here. If they decide to fizzle my divide by zero by playing the Guardian of Faith, that's super aggressive. That's gotta mean they have another Guardian of Faith. I still don't understand why they have a basic mountain in their deck. I'm super curious to figure that out. Oh, is this on? Oh, phases in their upkeep. Okay. Now we are definitely flooding out, and that is definitely a problem. Also, do they have another Guardian of Faith? That explains why they were willing to do it there. Which is super a problem, because I would absolutely have loved to have played a Mascot Exhibition this turn. I don't know that I have draws that beat another Guardian of Faith here, because I don't have Cinderclasm. I don't really want to play Campus lands in this deck because more tap lands makes the Dragons matchup worse. We're already probably playing too many. I don't think I have any real outs here. Is Fading Hope a real out? No. But we can see if the opponent decides not to attack with everything. Oh, I guess if they didn't have another guard... No, because they have Paladin class. So most everything wasn't an out, up to and including Parasitic Grasp. Yeah, that makes me Fading Hope in response, but I'm still dead by a lot. I think the opponent's only got like 4 damage over lethal. What we are definitely seeing here is a lack of Fading Hope. Well, and a lack of Sedgemoor Witch. That's the other card that really shines in that matchup. Alrighty. Do we think that the opponent on the Sarkhan avatar is playing dragons? And if so, do we mulligan this hand that has nothing good against dragons, and this hand that has nothing castable, and then keep this hand that is good? I think we're going to keep this hand that is good. This hand would be better if it had 7 cards in it instead of 5. Oh no, they're on mono green. Okay. Well, this hand is still better than every hand we were looking at earlier that didn't have the ability to play anything. Unfortunately, Tenacious Pup is very good against Abrade. Luckily for me, they didn't have any 2-drops that actually have 3 toughness that would have gotten buffed into 4, so I can at least kill the 2/2. Okay, and Divide by Zero is an excellent way to remove whatever creature is about to get a counter with Tenacious Pup. So that's cool. We get to take Teachings of the Archaic. This could be going a lot worse, so I am thankful that it is going slightly better. Oh, just an Old Growth Troll? No 4-drop with haste? Radical. Tenacious Pup after Old Growth Troll instead of in front of it, which is weird because that implies they have a haste creature coming down next turn, but I feel like they would have rather have played the haste creature this turn? Curious. Alright, let's make some mana. We've made a lot of mana. We've made a lot of lands. Alright, deck. We're gonna need to not die. They had the Open World Oddity. I really think they should have played that last turn instead of the Old Growth Troll plus Pup. So we are dying pretty badly. That's not good. It is in fact quite awful, actually. Need like Fading Hope? Cool. We found Fading Hope. More lands. That's really not great. But okay. So I need my opponent to not have another hasty creature and not have any Snakeskin Veils. The fact that they didn't upgrade Ranger class is a pretty bad sign. The fact that they have priority is a pretty bad sign. Double Galvanic doesn't really get around anything, because they can still Snakeskin Veil in response to it. And it also costs us treasures that we would prefer to be able to use to, one, cast a Galvanic Iteration next turn, but also potentially cast, like, bigger Meathook Massacres or something. Galvanic plus Teachings didn't do anything there, right? Because our opponent had 3 cards in hand, and if we cast Galvanic plus Teachings, then we go down to 1 card in hand. The first Teachings resolve, and then it's 3/3, so the second Teachings doesn't do anything. Is Disdainful Stroke good here? It's not as useless against green as it used to be, because they actually do play a ton of hasty 4-drops, but it doesn't have enough targets to be worth bringing in. In this case, I think we bring in Infernal Grasp and Horror. Pretty happy about that. It's what we cut that I'm less certain on. Is Abrade bad? Probably. I feel like I should certainly be lowering my curve, though. Because currently my curve's wicked high. Discover the Formula is probably too expensive. I mean, Abrade doesn't have no targets, it just doesn't have a lot of targets. We could play Parasitic Grasp. I really don't love that, but... no. Parasitic Grasp is interesting because it actually hits the 2-mana werewolf, but it doesn't hit a lot of other things. I think that the existence of Ranger class means that I'm supposed to play Abrade, because that gives me a on-curve answer to Ranger class, whereas Parasitic Grasp does not. Okay, we are mulliganing again. This is at least better. Do I keep Galvanic Iteration here? I don't think so. I think I just want land drops. Have I had any consideration for 1/2 Deluge? No, I think generally if you're ever playing Galvanic Iteration, it's just always better to play Behold the Multiverse over Deluge. Like, you could consider the first Deluge after you're playing 4 Beholds, but I don't particularly like that. But you could. Okay. Well, I do not have an opportunity to abrade the pack leader, so we will just destroy it. At the very least, Divide by Zero is a very good card to have when you are mulliganing. I'm going to Divide by Zero this on the stack because I don't want them to be able to fizzle my Divide with a Snakeskin Veil. Okay. I could play Celestus and hold up Abrade here. I don't think my opponent's going to be capable of emptying their hand. I do, however, think that they are probably going to be capable of playing Outland Liberator and then sacrificing it to destroy Celestus, which is annoying. I guess I could just let them have the Outland Liberator for now. Force them to do it on a turn where their mana is less clean. I could also Abrade a Tenacious Pup, but that's probably a bad idea, because I probably do want to get rid of the 3/3. My mana with all of these single-colored lands is not terribly clean, is it, once the Celestus dies? Do I want double blue, or do I want double black? I probably need double black more. But that makes this A-Alrund's Epiphany real awkward. If they try to cast Snakeskin Veil here to fizzle my teachings, I can Abrade in response. Alright, well, the good news, I guess, is that we did successfully draw more blue sources. The bad news is that I don't have the ability to do anything. I could have foretold A-Alrund's Epiphany, but I don't know. I kind of feel like there's a chance that I want to Abrade something here, especially if they end up leveling up this Ranger class. They elect not to. Which bodes poorly for our ability to use this Abrade to do anything. Oh, they are super into holding up the Snakeskin Veil. Oh, letting the Outland Liberator flip is going to be a problem. What do I do about that? How much do I regret not foretelling this A-Alrund's Epiphany? Because now I'm not getting birds to chump block. Does this have to be activated at sorcery speed? Yeah. Well, I could just fire off the A-Alrund's Epiphany to draw a card. I think that's probably what I have to do. We're in decent shape if we hit a Meathook Massacre, I guess. We're in not good shape if we hit a land, I guess. Okay, this is pretty bad. So I'm going to take 4, 5, a lot, 4, 6, 7, 8. How do I beat Snakeskin Veil? 4, 8, 9. I guess I gain 1 life off the Celestus if I pass here, which means I might. 4, 8, 9. Yeah, okay. I guess I'm not totally dead to 1 Snakeskin Veil here. Jeez. Okay. The mulligans into not drawing anything have been slightly brutal. They are really reluctant to use that Ranger class. Interesting. So they could have animated Lier of the Hydra for 2 and killed us with Snakeskin Veil, I suppose. So I'm happy they chose not to do that. Okay. Well, not much around the fact that we mulliganed a bunch against aggro and then didn't draw a super stellar. I don't think I could do much against that, other than maybe have another Meathook Massacre.